Welcome to my channel. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on new content. Hi everyone, my name is Catherine Rule. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing an artist interview with Lucy Beizer, and we met at the Art and Social Activism Festival like last fall. And I really was impressed with her. She reached out to me, and that takes major chutzpah. And so I went by and I saw her cute booth, and she has a lot of work that is upcycled, natural dyeing, and quilting. And I was just really impressed with her. So I wanted to have her on. And Lucy, tell everyone a little bit about yourself and your work.
Yeah, okay, so I'm Lucy. I do a mix of different things, but kind of what ties them together is like upcycling and foraging, so like using things that already exist, whether that be recycled clothing, fabrics, or plants, so natural dye. I kind of pick different things from outside. So this is like my jar of different plants. For example, marigolds are like a nice flower that come out right now. And then also just like quilting different used fabrics together. So this is like a jacket with some different stuff. And I've been like reupholstering chairs. So it's just like anything that I don't have to buy a new thing, I will use it to make something.
Cool. Well, so tell me a little bit more about your process. You kind of went into it, but where do you find stuff, and where do you work?
So I find things, plants outside. I get a lot of my fabrics from Fab Scrap, where I used to intern. And I make things often in my kitchen, like boiling dyes and stuff, but I also do like printmaking. So I sell clothes, like they're upcycled clothes that I print my drawings and designs on, and I do that in my print studio that I'm a member of called Shoestring Press in my neighborhood. And I sell those online on my website, loosethreads.com, and on my Instagram at loosethreads.
Awesome. So that's where you can find her website. If you want to go follow her on Instagram, go follow her. She's awesome. What kind of classes did you take to learn these sort of skills? And also how self-taught are you versus classes? I always like to ask that.
Yeah, so I've always made things, like ever since I was little. I would make like little dolls and stuff. But I learned more about like dyeing and kind of making an entire textile from scratch, dyeing, weaving, stuff like that, in college, at Skidmore College, in my fiber arts class. And then I was interested in the idea of natural dyes as opposed to acid dyes, just because I like collecting things, and I like, I would start with onion skins from my kitchen, and I could make like a beautiful color like this, or on silk like this. They turn out kind of different. So that I started doing on my own, just from like stuff online. And then I met an artist, and I got a grant to go work with her in Budapest, Hungary. And she taught me some really cool other techniques like eco printing. So that is a piece of silk.
That's so pretty.
With different flowers. So you like steam them and make prints of flowers. And so that's like something I've really liked doing recently. And then for quilting, I've kind of just messed around on the machine and talked to friends about their ways of doing it.
Did your mom quilt and do like a lot of crafting stuff, or was that like part of your family life, or or your grandma or something like that?
Yeah, my mom is definitely a huge crafter. She's made quilts like when I was young, but she didn't really like teach me
Right.
quilting, but any project she was like, let's figure it out, let's do it.
Yeah.
So I got help from her. And I did not know that my grandma was a sewer, but she just passed down like a full outfit that she made, like a 2-piece set, to me. And it's like really well made and it's really cool. So I guess like quilting is, or sewing,
Yeah.
thing in my family. Yeah.
That's cool. One other question. Where do you look for inspiration?
I recently have been doing a series of quilts based on images from my dreams. So I keep a dream journal and I write down different things that happened or I saw, and I kind of mix them up and put them into quilt form. I also kind of, with patchwork and quilting, just kind of see what colors go together, like what dye piece comes out. And then I also really like going to museums and getting inspiration from other artists.
Yeah. That's really cool about the quilt journal. Do you like try to analyze your dreams or keep track of them? And do you find any like kind of correlations of things through them?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely repeats of imagery, and like I would totally forget them if I didn't write them down, I think. But it's a really easy way to just come up with like weird scenarios. My mom is a psychiatrist, so sometimes I'll look at her dream and she'll be like, that means this.
Really?
Or like, that's really common. And she's not into that type of like, I don't know, like weird interpretation stuff, but like,
sure,
when a dream comes up with a lot of people, then it's a pattern and it is associated with a certain thing.
That's so interesting. Like I think it's like dream stuff is so interesting. I don't know anything about it, but I do believe that there's like something to it for sure. So that's really cool that you're like incorporating it into your art and your quilts, especially. So and I think it shows a lot of like discipline that you actually write them down. Like I feel like I aspire to do that. So tell me a little bit how social media has played a role in your career as an artist.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see other artists online. That's how I met the woman from Hungary.
Right.
Her Instagram is Hello Botanica. And we connected over Instagram because I was just like, how do I meet people that do natural dye? And I was lucky enough to like get this grant and have her invite me. So that was like a big way social media helped me. And also just like getting people onto my website. If I post something and people like it, they're gonna go to my website, or if someone sees something tagged, you know, with me, they'll be like, where'd you get that? And so that's how I've gotten some exposure, and just gotten inspiration from people online.
Do you ever feel nervous like posting your art online or on Instagram, Facebook, whatever?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Because I do. I think it's really hard to like to get over the hurdle. Like I did, but I just saying, I think it's like a really hard thing. And I think a lot of people, it's in like their mind. So how, if you could help them, how would you suggest they do?
It's almost like an incentive to make things you're proud of, you know, like I mean, there's some things that I'm like, no one should ever see this. But if something is like not quite good enough for me to like put my name on it, then I'm gonna improve it to make it good enough to put online.
Yeah. I definitely think Instagram is amazing for that, and I think that it's like it's a free website for you as an artist, essentially, and you know, you can always update it, and it will evolve with you as you change whatever you're doing or your focus, and it's a great way to like have like exposure, but it can be really scary to put your work up there, you know, because not everyone is like nice. I mean, most people are really nice, but sometimes, you know, you get kind of like a weird comment or whatever, and yeah, you're definitely putting yourself out there. And also, I think I'm like my own worst critic. I don't know if you can relate to that, but
Totally.
Me, yeah. So, and I think what you said about like incentive to not only make things better, but to make things even, you know, like,
yeah,
it kind of like holds you accountable. What is one of your biggest challenges when it comes to your art practice?
Yeah, like you said, confidence. So I sometimes think something's bad just because I made it and I know like all its little details or things I struggled with. And then also just like I really am excited to see what the project looks like at the end, which makes me want to go really fast and just like finish stuff. So I'm trying to slow down and do more measuring and just use the slowest setting on my sewing machine and just, you know, make sure everything's perfect instead of just getting it done.
And what kind of sewing machine do you have? Because not all of them have a setting for speed, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I have a Brother CS6000,
Okay.
which has changed my life.
And would you recommend it if anyone's looking for a sewing machine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, they like, once everyone started making masks because of coronavirus, that you couldn't get one anymore. I think they're available again.
Okay.
But I think mine is used, but they did sell out for a bit.
Yeah. And what's some advice you would give to someone who is like just starting out? Let's say they want to start a crafting Instagram, or either like start a business or just get more into doing crafts. What would be some advice you would get to them?
I would say just like keep making things. Even if you don't like what you're doing and you hate it in a month, you're going to be making things that you are proud of, and you're just going to keep progressing to be better. So like, don't think you're just bad at art. Like, everyone improves with time. And also just like be a part of a community and talk to other people about their process and their techniques, because you could learn some really useful skills.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. I think like commenting on people's like posts, or like messaging them, asking them questions, that's all really smart and a great way to like make friends and just to keep going. Yeah, I mean, I've done so many things that I didn't keep or whatever. They're just like on to the next, because I think for me, like you said, it's just like the consistency of like working and keep going and trying again, and then I've noticed that, you know, over time, like I get better at stuff. So it's definitely true. Tell us a little bit about some upcoming projects that you have, where people can check you out.
I am trying to put everything on Instagram. So if you follow me at luce.threads, I think I'm gonna be in a documentary soon about my natural dye process. You could see kind of how things are made and like what plants I'm using. And then I'm still working on these dream quilts, so you could see those. And if you like clothes, I will also be selling clothes on Instagram and on my website, loosethreads.com. So that's where you can find me.
Cool. I'm excited to see your documentary. I think that's like so awesome. And I'll be like checking your feed to see more info about that. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And thank you, Lucy, for taking the time to do this interview with me. I really enjoyed getting to know you better. And until next time, thank you and goodbye.
Thanks for having me.
Bye. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And go to Instagram and follow me at OnyxMatter.